On it
All right, we
today.
call the meeting to order. Commissioner Gage, will you lead the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First item on the agenda is to approve our agenda.
Move.
Second. Motion by Weiss, second by Dinger, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we'll open the meeting up for any public comments. Anyone wish to address the commission this morning on any topic that isn't on the agenda? Good morning, Shannon. Online, on the phone out there, anyone? Seeing none, we will move on. Second reading and possible adoption of the following ordinances. Lynn?
Ordinance 289, an ordinance amending Title IV, Second Revision, Brown County Ordinances as amended to rezone certain described properties, filed by petitioner Donald Johnston, owners Donald and David Johnston, to go from Egg Preservation District to Mini Egg District.
Is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 289? Not, I would entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Weiss, second by Gage. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, public hearing for temporary alcohol permit in conjunction with a special event for Stacy Gossman, doing business as Big Fellas. Morning, Stacy.
Notice is hereby given according to South Dakota Codified Law 35-2, a public hearing on the following temporary special event alcohol license application for liquor to be used by Stacy Gottman, doing business as Big Fellas, will be held on March 4th, 2025 in the chambers of the Brown County Commissioners in the Courthouse Annex, Brown County, South Dakota, at which time any interested person wishing to register complaint on their approval may appear. Stacy Gottman, doing business as Big Fellas, Aberdeen, South Dakota, for Sumption Wedding to be held at Sumption Farm in Frederick, South Dakota, Section 30, Township 127 North, Range 63, 11055 389th Avenue in Frederick, Brown County, South Dakota, temporary special event alcohol license effective July 11th of 2025.
Is there anyone here to speak to this temporary alcohol permit? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move.
Second. Motion by Dennert, second by Dinger. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. Next up, Becca Teller, 4-H Advisor, and Rachel Kickley, Fairgrounds Parks Manager, discuss 4-H Community Building. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good. Take one and pass it around. Lynn, do you want one of these brochures? Otherwise, I just have them for the... All right, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come before you guys to talk about our new 4-H building concept. It started about a year ago with a conversation Dwayne and I had, and since then, we have built a committee and kind of started with the foundation preliminary work to get this building rolling. Our committee makeup is myself and Rachel, Dwayne Sutton, Lynn Heupel, Brad Sharp, he is the 4-H leader president, Trevor Meintz is the Fair Board liaison. Shar Ackerman is the CFEL liaison. That's County and Family Leader Extension Leaders, for what, if you guys don't know what that means. Vicki Staney, she is the Fair Foundation liaison. And John Fogarty, he is in as a, silent partner. He helps with some of the engineering part of it, some of the design makeup for what this building is going to look like. And when the committee was put together, I wanted to be all-encompassing and representing the different parts of what this building could be used for and who could use the building. So that's where that's at. Brown County 4-H needs a home and a place where they can have their leaders meetings, club meetings, project days, shooting sports practices, and parts of our achievement days during the Brown County Fair. The Brown County Fair will also be able to have meetings there as well, and other events as well too. The building will be open to other county offices to have meetings and events there. Then we will open it up to the community for businesses to hold meetings and events, as well as families to hold weddings, receptions, graduations, and so much more. The building will sit where the current competitive exhibits building is sitting. To put the building into perspective, the complex building right now is 135 by 80 by 10. And our new building right now is roughly 80 by 180 by 22, with additional cold storage that could be anywhere between that 1,000 to 2,500 square feet, depending on that. Now, that number has changed a little bit, just knowing how big of a cold storage we initially started with. Now, I don't have a true picture for you guys to look at with that, because we're going to do some mapping out to make sure things are going to fit where they're going to fit right now with the layout we currently have presented there. But it's still going to go in that same space, but what that's going to look like might change a little bit too, from what you guys see on your guys' brochure there. The building proposal will have a large meeting space that will hold up to 400 people. It will have a smaller meeting spaces for those more leaders meetings, fair board meetings, club meetings, things like that. It will have a kitchen, adequate number of restrooms, and sufficient storage. And we will have a potential of office staff, fair and 4-H offices, if the commission sees fit, but that would also increase the footprint of what our building would look like as well. A tentative timeline for the fair, or for the building, excuse me, is the 2025 Brown County Fair. Will have a big kickoff for it. We'll have a groundbreaking summer, fall 2026, and hopefully our project will be completed Brown County Fair 2027. That's the goal right now. The project cost is somewhere between $2.5 and $3 million right now. As I'm wrapping up, the goal of the building is to establish a primary location for all 4-H fair activities and events, create a greater sense of community to foster innovation and collaborative education through the use of a common space, and create a safe and secure environment for youth, leaders, volunteers, and the community. Once again, I do want to thank you guys for your time and willingness to listen. And now I look forward to hearing feedback from you, but Rachel wants to say a little bit too right now.
No, if you have questions, we'll sure take those right away, but I think this is just a long time coming. When I first became a commissioner back in 2012, this was a conversation, the leaders came, and we know it's been a need out there. We've gotten kind of bogged down in the past about where it should be, was the issue last time. There was about 3 different options of where it should be, and that never got figured out. And 4-H has been there since, it's been there longer than racing, it's been there longer than hockey. I mean, truly the Achievement Days is the crown jewel of the Brown County Fair, and it always will be. Concerts are great, vendors are great, carnival's great, but 4-H needs to be the priority out there. And so I think by putting it right where the complex building currently is, it shows that our commitment to the 4-H kids and what the fair is really all about. So you guys probably aren't surprised because we put that strategic plan together last year. And in it, we talked a little bit about, in 2026, making sure that we demo that complex and get it up by 2027. So, I mean, we're in full support. We got a great crew of people ready to hit the pavement and try to fundraise for it. So, appreciate all your support on it.
Very good. Any questions of the commission?
So who's gonna own the 4-H organization will own the building?
So after the fundraising is completed and the building is stand, it will get turned over to the county, and the county will maintain that building after that.
Okay.
And so the thought of it is, with it opening up to the community and families and stuff like that, we will be able to rent it out at that point, and so we will be able to kind of put back some funds into the building committee to help with that process as well.
Sure.
As Beck stated, I met with her last year, and as the commissioner, I was the liaison to the 4-H leaders group for quite a few years, and as Rachel stated, it was talked about and talked about and talked about for several years. So when I met with Becca, I asked her if she would be I felt she would be the logical person to kind of spearhead this thing, and asked her if she would get solidly behind it and form the committee, and she's done a great job. The committee has done a good job of meeting, as she stated. I serve on it, and good people, good ideas, and I hope that we can get the community behind this project, because I visited the one in Roberts County and Grant County that's a similar type building, and there is truly a need for a multi-use, year-round, building out at the fairgrounds. So I think it'll get used a lot more than probably we even imagine once it's up and running and people see the value of it, so.
Well, I'm excited, I like it.
Good. I'm glad.
I just have a comment, I chuckle at the term sufficient storage.
There's never gonna be enough.
Yeah.
There's never gonna be enough, yeah. And, yeah.
Sorry.
And when I first started with this, I kind of was, be honest with you, I said 10,000 square foot storage, and then that kind of came into perspective that our building, or our storage is gonna be as big as our building. And so I was like, okay, maybe that's a little overkill, so.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think this will be a huge asset to 4-H and kids and just the community as a whole, so. Yeah, we did good work with this and looking forward to
Thank you.
seeing what we can do to help move this forward and.
Perfect. Our big push, if you guys are looking for anything to do on Friday afternoon, you can come help us do our mailers for our businesses that are gonna go out on Friday, so.
I'd like to see the momentum, our facilities are something that, you know, the community needs to get behind and make some improvements. The fair and 4-H is a huge part of that, it's a big deal, as well as all the other activities we have there year-round. We need to get the community together to help make some more investment into improving the facilities to make it a better experience for everybody, so
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
excited to see what you're doing.
Very good.
Any other questions, comments?
Just want to say, I think maybe what we should do to show some support is to put some county dollars behind it as far as getting this thing going. I know we've kind of talked about some numbers, so I'll just throw that out as a motion for $250,000 to go for the building there as a starting off point, I guess, if there's discussion on what we want to do there, but.
I think that would send a strong message to those potential donors that one of their first questions may be, what kind of skin does the county have in the game? And by making a commitment like that, it shows that we are solidly behind it and support the concept and are very supportive of 4-H and the building and everything that involves, so.
So at the end of the day, just one question, but like the revenues for all the events and stuff, weddings, things like that, is that to be shared with the 4-H and the county, or that's 4-H dollars?
Nope, the money that is made after that will go towards, it will be a fairgrounds, rental fee at that point.
Yeah, I think that's a good, you could say, investment in the future of the county
So take that out of commissioners or?
as well.
Because that would be.
That makes sense, take it out of commission, constituents. Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Gage, second by Weiss, to commit $250,000 in commission contingency funds to the 4-H building project. Is there any other discussion or questions?
I just want to make sure you guys will be okay with this. So then the mailer that goes out on Friday, or we put together, can I add that number into our mailer to go out into the community? Are you guys okay with that?
Assuming we get 3 votes.
Once.
Yes. Sorry, I got excited. Okay.
Once I announce the result of the vote, yes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Now,
Now you
go
can.
for it.
Now
Publish
can
away.
I can, okay, perfect, that's great.
Publish away.
Oh my gosh, I teach this stuff too, it's all
Just pick it on you.
I know, it's all things.
Well, thank you for your efforts and your hard work, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I was nervous, I'm sorry. I don't come before you guys very often, so I was nervous, so I do appreciate it. And I did give you guys my card. It has my cell phone number on there for those of you that don't have it. If you have any questions or feedback as you guys are thinking about it, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So.
Now we'll get the region solidly behind it, and the donations will start coming in, hopefully.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Thank you
so much,
Well
guys.
done.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too, thanks. Next up, Rachel Kipley, Fairgrounds Parks Manager, contract for small animal barn.
I apologize, I didn't get those two contracts to you guys quicker, but they just got signed by the other party, last night, or late afternoon. But those are the two. Sounds like Highway will be able to come in either late today, tomorrow, to demo that new bunny barn. We got it all cleared out, took all the, all the
The old Buddy Bar.
The old Bunny Bar, what did I say?
The new Buddy Bar.
Yeah, the older, yeah. So all the pens are out and it's ready to come down and we're rocking and rolling with this nice weather, so.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the contract with Small Animal Barn.
Move. Second.
Motion by Jenner, second by Weiss. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Will that be done before the fair this year?
Absolutely. July 31st is the deadline, but
Good,
depending on this weather, we might have it even quicker. So.
very good, thank you.
And I take one else too, and keep one original. I'll get them.
Next up, Dirk Rogers, Highway Superintendent. Morning, Dirk.
If we put a carnival out the highway shop, could I get more money, do you think?
It is kind of a circus.
We already have a circus.
I thought you were gonna throw one of them up.
We were, if the head height, or the door height had been a little higher, it's just we had to make a lot of adjustments to it. We did ask, we're going backwards, said, tell me what we can build for $99,000 as far as the shell goes, and then we'll see about finishing it later, but I don't want the auditor to hear that, she won't like that we build it that way, but, first thing would be load limits. I wanna recommend that we put them on right now, if I'm thinking Friday morning. We don't need to put them on tomorrow right away. And honestly, we haven't seen a lot of, not as much, there's not a lot of evidence, usually you get the cracks welled up and, the bridge end sank, or didn't sink, heaved here a couple weeks ago, but anyway, I think Friday would be a good spot for us. By then, I think everyone around us will have them on, some will already have them on, and you don't have to go too much further south, it changes pretty quick. Excuse me. But that'd be my recommendation, we'll just start Friday morning and start flipping them and go from there.
These folks a little breathing room. I did get a call from somebody last week that was a little concerned because AGP wasn't taking beans the last part of last week, and they had some loads they wanted to get in, so. Gives people a little bit of breathing room. Yeah, looking at the forecast, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and it's, it was dry, like we were talking about before, it was dry at freeze up, so that's usually the biggest indicator, but it's also been a weird, she switch flipped pretty quick there when it started getting warm. But anyway, I think it'll be all right, and, a little cooler this week too, so hopefully it'll go gently. And I was actually, if we'd have flipped them a little sooner, maybe I don't know, one time, there's only been one time that I would consider we missed it really bad. When we screw up, it's we, when it goes well, it's me, but, and that, as near as I could tell, that ended up costing a couple, it's hard to get the number pinned down, but that particular year, we spent a couple $100,000 more than what we had been patching. And that, like I've said before, I think we got a little more resilience now, so a tough spring doesn't automatically turn everything into confetti like it used to, but,
Well, conditions vary too.
Yep.
I recall we had a picture from 10, 12 years ago of a semi that was axle deep that was illegal.
Yeah.
On one of our county roads.
Right. And even before that, before we fixed 6 around the lake, I'm talking in 2000, there was the garbage trucks were literally, didn't have to get towed through there, so. So we've probably made some progress, or it's dried out or something, but anyway, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, it's a lot drier, so things aren't as fluid as they have been in the recent past, so.
But, anyway, that'd be my recommendation, and,
We have a motion by Weiss. Second by Gage to enact load limits on Friday, the 7th of March. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The other thing on there is some contracts, those would be, recommend that we sign those. Those are, all the stuff from our annual bids, the asphalt and the gravel and rental equipment.
Okay?
Based on availability, location, and
Based
all
on
that.
availability and location, yeah.
Move.
Did we,
Motion by Weiss.
Oh.
I have one question.
Oh.
Did we have somebody on there that decided they didn't wanna do the contract after the fact, or? 'Cause there was one contract I didn't see on there.
Who's that?
Knack up in Leola.
Oh, he maybe hasn't got it back to us yet, but we definitely want, that's somebody we actually wanna try that this year. I mean, because of where it's at and the cost. That's actually a little bit better than some of the other ones that, when we go that direction.
That's, I didn't see him on there, so.
Well, these might not all be.
He was quite a bit.
He was pretty
Yeah,
reasonable.
yep. The contracts don't run out till April 1st, I believe, so we're actually still operating on last year's
Okay,
contracts.
so we got time.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Weiss, second by Denner. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Just a couple other things, I sent you guys a text about we did get our new grant. In a very, very general sense, before we were maxed out at like 1.8 million, I think, in funding, regardless of how much the bridge cost. By moving into this other program, it becomes an 80-20 program. And I visited with IMEG this morning. We're gonna start the process. Now, we're out of cycle on the bidding it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we bid it now and said you gotta have it done by November 15th or 1st of December, if we were to put that out there right now,
We're late.
it would be ugly, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and start the process and get the bid out, but put the completion date into 2026. I'll have to remind a few people, but that has been something that's come up
Mm-hmm.
over the years, as we've talked about this thing going on forever, is that there's a good chance it's gonna keep beating this thing with a stick till the bridge is there.
It's coming.
That there's, that it could be closed in the winter, and we will do, there'll be a detour associated with that and all that, but that's a real possibility, and I've conveyed that to Scott Mites too. He's, in a very general sense, it's not a complete blind side that could be the possibility up there. But that's all good. We'll get it moving as quickly as we can, and perhaps have it, actually have a contractor here in the next couple of months and have it. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's gonna start in May, and I don't think we want him to start in May and have it tore out from May until, we may have to put a provision in there so they don't tear it out too soon and then have it,
We don't want it drug out. We
Yeah.
also want to make sure that there's enough flexibility.
that we're not spending an extra $2 million when we don't have to. So, I guess that's all my immediate stuff, we'll switch what we're doing. When we put our load limits on, then we're kind of limited, but we do have a few roads we can still get to haul some gravel, and we're still crushing and keeping busy, so.
Guardrail update?
It's gonna be the same as the last time you asked me. I haven't really talked to anybody. I would think as soon as the ground's thawed, they'll come out, but I will make it a point to reach out to the contractor and have an answer for next time.
Okay.
Funding appears to be lining up for Richmond Dam, so.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Yep,
something we're gonna have to deal with.
yep. Obviously, the thing that's most impactful, and I'll just tell you right now, I'm gonna walk a tightrope starting today to make sure that the Brown County Highway Department didn't close the road, okay? And I know everybody knows that. I also know we're gonna take a beating over the minute the first barricade goes up, okay? So I'm trying to mitigate as much of that as possible. You guys probably saw the email from Scott. He wants to, I think that's a good conversation to have. There's some other avenues. I don't wanna give up on the funding part of it, finding another source. And I get it, they've tried really hard, and the legislature's done a good job and scratched up some money for it, But at the same time, it doesn't change anything for us, or at least for me, in my opinion, is that we gotta be careful on how much we're gonna incur. I have no money in there. I'm not saying we couldn't absorbed some, but I don't have any money in there at all for anything on that. And the other end of that, I'll say, is, I mean, you're kidding yourself if you don't think if we had the Armageddon snow frickin' mess, that we're not gonna go open up the roads and get people where they need to go. I mean, that's gonna happen I'm talking on the far extreme end, so, but at the same time, that's what I mean. I wanna keep in here, and I think it's a good project, and the alternatives aren't very nice if we don't do the project, right? But at the same time, you know, of course, we can put a fair out there too, and maybe you guys got money for it, I don't know.
Well, we lived through 2 years of difficulty when we rebuilt 6A
Yep.
several decades ago.
Yep.
And that was well worth it, but it was frustration in the meantime, but
Exactly, so, and we'll get through it, I'm not worried about that, but there's gonna be a lot of moving parts, and
let's get done.
and 2 years of a road being closed, I can't think of that happening before, so.
Well,
Okay.
it's a big project, it's a necessary project, and
You bet.
unfortunately, it's turned into an expensive project, so that's the way it goes.
Yeah, nothing's cheap,
No.
Well, as things are relative, and not to deflect, but, you know, if it stays on track in 2 years when they shut down Sixth Avenue for a season to replace a bridge,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna impact way more people.
Oh, yeah, and I'll tell you now that they're gonna be they'll be asking to use Prairie Wood, and which I don't have a problem with. They being the state, made the investment on that road in the past, and they'll be willing to bring it up to whatever standard it needs to be for the detour, so I'm probably gonna support them using that as a detour, just because of the value and I know the people, not everyone likes it, and it impacts some, different people different ways when you do that, but.
Well, my understanding is that they're gonna replace the bridge on 10th this year. They'll take some of that traffic.
Yep.
Before they do
Before
Sixth
they
Avenue
do
the following year.
Yes.
As part of the plan.
And I think they'll have I don't know what you wanna call it, an internal detour, or, for guys that are.
Light traffic.
Yeah,
heavy
that you're
traffic.
trying to get around, and they'll be running the bean trucks around.
Yeah.
That's kinda where they go anyway, so.
Of course, there's Third, a pretty new bridge also. so.
Yeah. And
There's other
that took
options
a period of
for-
time to do too, so
Yeah.
that's part of the
Okay.
process.
Yeah, that was another good one.
Construction, so.
Good times.
Well, we're talking about one last thing,
Sure.
and we've had, I'm sure everybody else has too, some very polite suggestions from some people impacted during open meeting here, just to talk about the surface of 14 and
Yeah.
where that's at in things, just so it's out there.
Yeah, so, I haven't come to a full resolution on that one. Okay, this is gonna sound like I'm gonna try to take you around on a long trail. That's part of the reason why I wanna be careful with load limits. We have a little tiny bit of wiggle room. No, you don't save money, you just reallocate it. But there's a little bit of money that's under what I expected to pay for that project up in the northeast part of the county. It's not millions, it's a couple $100,000. So my first thing was, okay, if we screw up the load limit thing, we got a little bit of cushion there that we can move into patching. I don't see that happening now. So I'm trying to work something in on that 14. Now, with
We'll see.
that same thing in mind, without a influx of cash, because to do that the way I would do it, if it were completely scheduled this year, we'd be looking at about 1.2 million to do the whole thing. There's 2 miles in there that I think are the worst, that are the consternation. I mean, the rest of it, those 2 miles weren't in there, I think maybe people get all the way down to 23 and go, well, that sucks, but it's bearable. There's 2 miles in there that I haven't figured out if we did a bad patch job or overfilled them, because there's not really holes there, but it is just rougher than a cob, So, what I'm gonna try to do there is when we bring in the mill to mill up our regular stuff, when the WISA comes in, I'm gonna buzz that up. We have to go make sure there's enough asphalt there, but do a couple pours. But I'm gonna have them buzz that up, so I'm gonna go one of 2 ways. We're gonna try to do something in there that will at least minimize the worst parts of it, okay?
Well, make sure you got a good base for whatever.
Well, yeah, no matter what we're gonna do. Ultimately, if we could wait a little longer, I'm trying to put together another cold in-place job on Road 16. I already know Road 16 has enough asphalt to do a cold in-place job on it. I don't know what 14 does. I was gonna kinda try to roll the two of them together, but I think that 14 is gonna get to be, more aggravating. So we gotta,
It's reached the point, some of it's likely to deteriorate fairly quickly.
right, so I think I'm giving you a long-ass answer here, but what I'm gonna try to do is hang something in there. It might even be a blotter for a little while, but we'll try to correct the worst parts of it. If it turns out that we can do more than that as the year goes on, which is a possibility, it's not, we might be able to actually sit down with the paver and pave a mile or two or something. We'll see. So I think the best answer to, as usual, I've used everyone's time up, but, we're gonna do something to try to make it better. I can't quite tell you that it's gonna be from a 0 to 10, that it's gonna be a 6 or a 4 or whatever. But yeah, we will do something to move it up in the schedule, because I do agree with what the public's been saying on
And
that
eventually,
one.
with a little patience, the whole thing is gonna get addressed.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing will get addressed. It's just, I even thought we could mill the whole thing up and just put a blotter in there, but that's a long piece to do that. If it comes apart, then you're be spending the rest of the
We're
summer.
conscious of it, and we're gonna evaluate what our opportunities are as we go through the season, and do whatever we can to address it
Yep.
for the long term
Yep.
of doing the whole thing, and that's kinda what I wanted to get to. And I just, I'm assuming everybody else has gotten some feedback, and I appreciate it's all been, very kind and appropriate kind of
Yep.
feedback that we've got from folks, just saying, we want you to be aware, and we'd appreciate, knowing where we're at with that, because it's deteriorating, and we recognize that, and want to make sure that they're aware of that. And, like I said, they've been very respectful in their feedback, which is much appreciated.
Yep. No, a former commissioner from that neck of the woods also was getting, and I said, it's bad enough that there's 5 of you, now I gotta worry about the one that, we finally got Francis to quit coming to the meeting, so.
Anyway, I
But
appreciate
no,
having the
that's-
conversation about that, so.
We've been looking at it a couple different things, and I'm just trying to figure out which set of dice to throw at it, and, so,
And 12, has been greatly appreciated, what,
yeah,
was done with that, so.
yep.
Gotta
hopefully.
celebrate some of the stuff we did get done too, and say, we're working on things, but, got limited resources.
Yep.
And we went from, state legislature last year from, we're gonna get some more money for counties, it's like counties are gonna have to get squeezed a little bit tighter this year,
I
because
know.
things have changed, so.
Yep.
We'll see where all that goes.
One piece at a time.
Yep, that's right.
So, thanks for the conversation.
Yeah. Anything else?
Answers my questions, so,
Okay.
thank you, Dirk.
I won't be in the office this afternoon, but if you need something, call my cell phone.
Will do.
Okay?
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you, guys.
Next up, Tricia Kendall, Museum Director.
I love coming in after Dirk.
Yeah.
It's before lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I'd just like to say, before we start, I think everyone deserves a new building today. Everyone has. And full disclosure, today's my birthday, so.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And here's copies of my resolution. I think all of us here have done everything right. I think we've gone through the process, done our due diligence. I think we're doing what we need to kind of meet in the center lane.
And what kind of closing speed?
Well, it's like, stop, go, this whole process. And it's a lot of hurry up and wait.
It's kind of a roller coaster.
Yes, yes.
Government.
Municipal governance, it's a ride, so.
Well, it's a big project, and it's probably one of the bigger projects that Brown County's ever taken on, financially.
Mhm.
So I appreciate the fact that the foundation is willing to at least look into the possibility of it happening. Appreciate their support, and I know it's gonna be a big undertaking for the foundation to take on to raise the kind of money that you're talking about needing. But I think, at the end of the day, if it's able to be built, it will be a great addition to the museum and in the community and the area. So, I wish you luck.
Thank you. Thank you. And truly, the onus will be on this end, for fundraising, for construction, for all of that. But certainly the foundation and the staff, you know, partnering with the county at every step of the way. It's to benefit, you know, Brown County, to make it a better place to live. I mean, it's a great place to live, but adding to the quality of life keeps people here or brings people back. We can get them to start businesses here and bring families here and attend school here. It's all to the good. And property tax.
And the second to the last whereas, you somewhat addressed at least the issue of the potential need for additional parking.
Yes.
Knowing full well that there used to not be a parking lot where there is one now. But people have gotten used to it and the convenience of being able to park there, come over, take care of their business. A lot of times there aren't a lot of spots that are used for a very long period of time. But it is a convenient parking lot that people have grown accustomed to, so.
Absolutely.
We'll need to address that, so I'm glad the foundation is, at least are willing to collaborate with us as we find a solution to that, so.
And then just this past week, when they were working in the parking lot and had the crane there, I noticed the other parking lot was used. And there were people who were using the annex who were parking over there as well. And it was a quick little walk, but as long as it's not 30 below, it's a pleasant walk. But, and I also, you know, encouraging county employees to park in the north lot will probably alleviate a lot of this in and out. That would be parking on the street and immediately around the courthouse.
Sure.
How soon do you see a need to meet with the commission and the foundation to kind of review how things are going?
This summer.
Okay.
The foundation has interviewed and selected a fundraising consultant.
Okay.
And actually, I have a get-to-know-you Zoom meeting this afternoon
Okay.
with one of our foundation board members and myself, and it's the new MAD group out of Rapid City. And our intention at every turn is to make sure that we keep everything within South Dakota when we move the vendor, and if possible, some services aren't available within our state. So we're going to be meeting with them, and then that's really going to set the agenda for the next 3 months.
Your intention, you know, assuming this goes through today,
Yes.
would be to kind of begin as quickly as possible.
Yes. Yes. I'm not one of those
Which was
hurry
my
up and
understanding,
wait.
I just wanted to make sure,
Yes.
because, you know, like you said, stop and go, you're ready to go.
Ready to roll. Really, really ready to roll. And like I said before too, if you knew how much work it was going to be, you'd never start a project. So
Right.
it's good that I
You've
don't
got
know.
some momentum, and you want to take advantage of the momentum.
I do. Yes, and, you know, absolutely partnering with the county at every step. Total transparency.
Well, good luck in your fundraising efforts. I hope it goes well, and
Thank you.
there's no further questions, comments, concerns. If we're willing to support this resolution, I would entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Motion by Weiss. Second by Gage. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yes. It's work, but it's good work.
Yeah.
There you go, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Been waiting a while for that one.
I know. Absolutely,
You have to have a
yes.
birthday more often.
No, actually. Pretty happy with the things right now.
Well, let's keep having them regularly. That's
Yes.
the important thing.
Yeah.
I plan to have
As scheduled.
plan to have another one next year.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. All right, so then, sorry, this was finished last night, I wasn't able to get it to you prior, for reasons, like,
Very good.
not gonna ruin my momentum. I'm gonna just give you some highlights. So, this past year, we opened up a new children's exhibit. It's been immensely popular. It's called the Decker Schooley Gallery. We remodeled that completely. That space was gutted and redone, and we've had just a tremendous amount of good feedback on that. I'm sure it's helped our attendance during those colder months as well. And that was all funded through our foundation. We have new carpets throughout the first and second floor. We had 7 different carpets from anywhere from the past 5 years to the past 30 years. So now, when you come in, and the best thing is that you don't notice, and that's what you're supposed to do when you come in and you see new carpet. We've had over 400 classroom visits in the county. So that's just under 8,000 student interactions. We've been in every school in the county. We have been to Warner, but, that's a very limited, that's probably the one that we visit the least. But we are in every school in the county, and we've really built some really good relationships there, especially in Frederick and Roten. We do go to Northwestern because that's right on the county line. So you've got Millette, but a lot of kids from Brown County go to school in Northwestern. So we're there. We look at Speed County a little bit when we're there too. So it's both Brown and Speed County content that we have. Once you get through there, you'll see that our average daily attendance this past year was 69.7, which is just about 18,000 walk-ins. Those are good numbers for a county museum. But we really consider ourselves to be more than that, more of a cultural institution for the region. We have, and you can see too, I have 90 volunteers that have given us hours in some capacity or another this past year. Those are advocates for us out in the community. And we appreciate what they do for us. And we've really made some new friends in Groton because we had our Groton exhibit, Groton Past, Present, and Future, when we had our Smithsonian exhibit. I know people now that I can call there, I've met the mayor. The people at the City Hall / library have been wonderful, and we're going to have an outreach exhibit there. So we just continue to be part of the county, and at every opportunity I do let people know that we are the county museum. Our services are for Brown County, and I think that's been appreciated. And then for collections, we took in 3 major collections this past year. And we have started the process of touching every artifact in our collection, which is almost 40,000. So that's going through. We have a lot of things from the 70s that people just gave us at the time that we are now evaluating for condition, and also maybe we have 17 of one thing. So we're going through and doing that evaluation so that we can do our best to preserve those items for Brown County history. And there are a lot of, I would say, I'll just bring up the 70s again, there's a lot of mysteries that we find too. Things were taken in kind of like en masse, and we're going through and saying, why do we have this? Is this pertinent to our county story, to our purpose and mission, and also what condition is it in?
In the area you're remodeling in the southwest part of the first floor there, it's going to be a very nice addition, and it's going to look good.
Yes, and that's prime real estate right there, the corner of First and Main Street, and it was actually past time to do that. And sometimes it's good to kind of get poked, a little impetus to change things up, and certainly having an incoming exhibit donation coming in has allowed us to do that, so.
What's going to be going in there?
So what's going to be going, so in the new space in where Western Union and Zitlow was. That will be our, what used to be in the Squire Gallery. We're going to move that there. It's still going to be in the Squire Gallery, but we have a 1902 Montgomery Ward buggy that's in pristine shape, and that's coming to us from Chuck and Robin. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on their last name.
Casanova.
Thank you. Casanova family, from George Casanova, that's his family. It has a lot of special meaning to them. So we're gonna be highlighting that. That was one of the reasons why we are redoing that exhibit, so we can do that. And then we're going to continue those Brown County town stories that are there. And we will also be getting, or we already have a new 12-foot birch bark canoe, authentically made, that will join the Red River cart that we have there. That was made by Dick Barris. And gosh, he was probably born to be a mountain man in another century, but he does wonderful work. And we've uncovered a few things too. It's funny, every time we do remodeling in the museum, we uncover another door that was covered up. That's authentic, that's original to the building. We've done that again, and it looks wonderful. We'll be highlighting that, more of our architecture in our building as well.
Hopefully no more pipes that aren't connected properly.
No. We try to address those as we come. I think we found, I think we found every surprise when it comes to structure. It's a good building, and it's our largest artifact. We consider it our largest artifact. It does continually surprise us, though. But it's solid. I'm happy to go through in the basement any day. Those walls will hold up that building long after everything else around it, obviously, comes down.
But you'll still maintain the Zillow collection, be displaying portions of it.
Yep, it'll just be...
Ask the old telephone guy.
Yeah, yes. Telephone person. See, when we have a new space, we can tell more of our stories. Do you know that we only exhibit 5% of our collection?
Which is typical.
Yep. So we want to exhibit more of our collection, but it has to tell a story when it's out. It can't just be items on a shelf, so it has to be curated. Actually, we're kind of excited about being able to do that. Have more space to do that, and have more space for programming. Have more space for community. Downtown Aberdeen is great. I think it's really on the upswing, and we want to contribute to that. I'm also a member of the Downtown Association, or Downtown CADA, so.
Participate in all the events and have a few of your own.
Yes.
The weather's been okay, but not great for a few of them.
That's true. And then, if you, exactly. And if you looked at our calendar, we have something going on all the time. We're updating our exhibits all the time. We have rotating exhibits all the time. There's never a day that we're just sitting there wondering what to do that day. As with all of us in the county. I come after Dirk. Obviously, he has concerns. He's busy every day. But
So you can fill out the email real easily with those 5 things I did last week, right?
Oh my God! Yesterday. And then there's always a surprise that happened that day. But we wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. We really do thrive in that kind of environment.
Yeah, and you do have lots of fun collaborations. The 2 men from Minneapolis that were here that had the exhibits.
Oh, yes,
this last year. That was cool.
Yes, thank you. And so every other year we do a traveling children's exhibit, and then every other year more of that pop culture, or history, or some other, just to keep it. Because a children's exhibit, traveling children's exhibit every year would be a lot.
Good stuff.
All right, good report, thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate the support as well.
You bet.
You bet.
Thank you, guys.
Fundraise away.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. Lynn,
Approval of the general meeting minutes of February 25th.
Move.
motion by Weiss, second by Gage. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Dinger, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report?
Move. Second.
Motion by Denner, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Lease agreement?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approve and authorize advertising for tire removal bids?
Move. Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dinger. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approve and authorize advertising for wood grinding bids?
Move.
Second.
Motion by Dinger, second by Denner. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And approve and authorize advertising for weed and pest chemical bids?
Move. Second.
Motion by Denner, second by Weiss. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business to come before the Brown County Commission this morning? Had a request to go into executive session for personnel, and see we have a couple of attorneys
Yeah.
in the area, maybe legal.
I see they're lurking. Move.
Motion by Weiss. Second by Dinger.
You
All in
lurk-
favor
you lurking.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are back in session, out of exec, with no action as a result. Is there anything else to come before the Brown County Commission this morning? Seeing none. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Motion by Weiss.
Second.
Second by Gage. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.